Hi, so this is my run through of the K1 Logistics Lost Sector on the Moon, the Master Flawless version. As you can see, there are barrier and overload champions, and all the Shanks will have solar shields, which means that you'll be up against solar shields around all the Shanks and some arc shields in here. So you'll need something to be able to deal with all of that. I'm running on my usual top tree Voidlock for the healing rifts and using Controverse Hold for the overcharged grenade regeneration. This is moderately difficult. I mean, it's not tough, but you need a lot of patience. It's one of the ones that's on the moon, so it's one of the more difficult ones. So as you come in, there will be an overload captain. There's a couple of marauders in here behind all these grenades. If the captain doesn't show himself, then yeah, I get rid of the grenades. If you get too far out to the right here, there are snipers who will get you. But as ever, 2 anarchy, grenade, and then keep hitting it with a hand cannon so that he can't regen his health, and it also stops him from teleporting. I was kind of hoping that Warmind Cell would have bounced the other way so I could get rid of a few of the ads at the other end. Now, what I normally try and do here is I will go for the use that kind of box immediately in front of me as my home base at this stage, but there are usually a couple of marauders. I don't think I've got them all, so I'm trying to encourage the marauders to come down individually here, but it doesn't look like they're playing ball. So initially what I'm looking to do is pick off any unshielded enemies, ones that the barrier servitor hasn't got to yet. There's normally 1 or 2, and they're normally the dregs on the left hand side, which, as you can see, they're throwing grenades. So that's one of the reasons I want to try and get rid of them. There's no way I'm getting rid of them from there, and with the grenades they're spamming. It's probably better. Yeah, we go. We can back up here. We get a few shots at range. But again, just be patient. Don't be tempted to push up and force it. Just wait for them to wander out. There you go, there's one. Okay, seeing as I can't see anything that direction, I'm going to work on the ads on the right hand side here. There's a few snipers, a few dregs, and an arc shielded captain. The sniper normally sits in that window there. But there we go, that's my usual way of getting rid of the arc captain. Hopefully the captain will wander over. The dregs are usually all in line. There you go, the captain helpfully wanders over the grenades, so usually that's the right hand side clear. Now I normally do my damage on the barrier servitor from the right hand side. I find you've got a little kind of a clearer line of sight. Wasn't expecting a dreg to still be alive up there, I must admit. So and now he seems to have magically teleported behind me. So yeah, want him out of the way as quickly as possible. So as I was saying, once you've got rid of all the dregs, this crate here on the right hand side is where I set up shop. I can pretty much control how much I can be seen by. There's 2 snipers. Now I'm using Sundering Blast here rather than Breach and Clear, and the reason for that should become obvious when I stun the barrier here for the first time. You can see the They are really annoying, the snipers, but if I can get the champion stunned, there's an explosive blast which clears everything out from near it, which in close quarters like this with barriers is really handy, and gets rid of about a quarter of their health as well, so it's a good chunk of health for it to lose. Right, because the next thing that you're going to face is going to be an overload captain, I tend to approach that from as far away as possible. It's got one of the shrapnel launchers, the solar shrapnel launchers, which seem to be fully automatic, so I'm just checking that there's no tracer shanks up there. Sometimes you'll find a tracer shank up there. If you leave the barrier champion from this area too long, it will wander up here as well, so it's important to get that early on so it doesn't start shielding the ads up here. But there we go, that's the overload champ. Just again keep plugging away with the hand cannon so he can't regenerate. Always have a go at the wall mine cells, you never know, something might just be sticking its nose out. Oh, just too late. First of the solar shielded Shanks. There's another two on the right hand side here. Try and get rid of them fairly quickly because there is a barrier servitor down below and that can start shielding them after a while. Now I'm waiting here for the exploding Shanks. There's some that will appear from the left there. There's another lot that will appear from the right. There we go. If there's any left, a grenade normally gets rid of them. Right, overload champion on the right here. Now what I'm trying to do here is trying to bait him into this area because otherwise he can get shielded by that barrier servitor. So what I want to try and do is try and get him out to this area here, but we are like ships that pass in the night. Oh yes, a couple of sniper vandals are spawned at the same time as everything else and they can rush you here. So I think to myself, okay, aggressive use of a healing rift to give myself an overshield, but he disappears again. So we're never quite ready for each other. You can see now he's being shielded by the servitor. Again, question of patience. Don't worry about the timer. You're going to be doing this in a single life, so the fact that you're going to go into darkness doesn't really matter if you don't have any revives. Right. In the end, I do kind of just lose a little bit of patience there because he's obviously not moving, so just try and get this done quickly, knowing I've got a little bit of heavy ammo in the previous room, so even if I missed there, I'd still be able to go back like I am now just to pick that up. There we go, so good to go again. Now, like I say, there's a barrier champion in the lower area below here, and as you can see, there's also an overload champion at the back. I'm a little lucky with that because the barrier champion was within the explosive radius of the Nova bomb that I threw, so took it out with a single shot. It is void burn in here, so that does do 50% bonus damage. So I am now, as ever, deal with the ads first, champion second. But they are being very uncooperative. You can tell the moment I decide I'm going to move up and swap to trying to damage the... There we go, the overload. They both stick their heads out. Looks like they know what I'm doing. So that's one. I know there's still one up there. There he is. Right. Okay, I can now move to finishing off the Overload champion. As ever, keep pinging away with the hand cannon while he's being damaged. And there we go, I did get a dreg that time, so like I say, always useful to, even if you can't see them. Right, I'm going to be coming back for ammo, but with the amount of ammo I've got in my inventory at the moment, that will be later, so I don't kind of waste any pickups. So the next section here is a long corridor. Initially there's a few wretches, and then when you move forward far enough, that then spawns another overload captain with some dregs. You can see there, it's really annoying, the little pike of the wretch sticking out there, but I'd have to go up this way anyway in the end to spawn all of the dregs. Right, gonna wait for him to be vulnerable to being stunned again. You can see the horns are lit up at the moment, so he's not. As soon as that happens, I'm in with 2 anarchy, grenade, and then continuing to ping away with the hand cannon. Now there's 3 further wretches up here just around the corner there. So you never know again. No. Never mind. So again, usually that's enough to bait them out in the non-master version. Right, block of heavy there. Trying not to run over it, but I know I'm going to, because I back up here regularly when I'm doing damage. So you can see initially there's a single barrier servitor there. I'm waiting for my super to regenerate. No idea how that grenade was thrown inside there, or was it thrown inside? It might have been stuck on the door outside. Right, okay, my idea here is to try and just damage the barrier servitor enough so that I can get the barrier to come up, so I can stun it, and that will take out the enemies around it. But unfortunately you can only see the top half, and it's got quite good cover. There we go. So, unfortunately though, yes, before he's killed, he just gets his shield up in time, but that then spawns a second barrier servitor. My super is up now, so I'm wondering if I can catch one or both of them. They move quite close together here, so I think, okay, that's a good chance. They move apart again though, unfortunately. So I'm taking the one on the right because that looked to be the one with the lower health. That one on the left is still annoyingly... yeah, cover's just too good round here. So this is one of the few times I do come out of the room. There we go. Even though I've not taken the opportunity to damage the barrier servitor there, getting rid of some of those dregs, which have a habit of throwing their grenades an incredibly long way, I think's worth it. Again, don't worry about the darkness encroaching. You're only going to use 1 life, so just take as much time as you want. This time he goes down. Right. I don't know whether that's the event that spawns in these Shanks, but anyway, at some point the Shanks do turn up, killing all of those Shanks. And there's a nightmare around here as well, a nightmare dreg. I don't know whether the unshielding of the servitor in the middle of the boss is on a timer after this, or whether it's triggered by killing a certain number of ads. Pretty sure it includes the nightmare shank here that I'm shooting at the moment. But it won't start shooting at me until I'm pretty sure he's never been unshielded before I've had that shank there down. So at this point in my mind, I've cleared most of the ads to the right. There's a few I can see that are on the opposite side. There's some that have spawned in on the left. That will include an arc shielded captain. And I think an overload captain maybe as well. Yeah, it's really annoying because it's like a bowl in the middle. All of the war mine cells that I create all just roll down there, and I can't fire it because can't shoot them because they're behind that barrier. So, okay, I'm dealing, and suddenly it wakes up. So, damage the boss. There's 3 boss phases. Initially in the middle here, damage him enough, goes off to the left. Again, damage again. The last third, the last stand is in that far right hand corner, kind of about 1 o'clock from where I'm looking at the moment. So now it's shifted off to the left. I'm now going to try and deal with all of the ads that have spawned in there. Now there's quite a lot, so the overcharge grenades are handy here. If you weren't using Anarchy, rocket launcher probably would be quite useful here. Particularly an arc one, because you'd probably be able to get rid of the arc shielded. There you go, you can see him behind the overload. Another wall mine cell. I think you get a wall mine cell almost guaranteed from killing an ultra like that. Yeah, still don't get it. I remember thinking, oh, I'll see if I can get it this way, and then forgetting that in fact there are still dregs on the other side there. So as you'll see, I probably do 90% of the boss. I think this start area here inside the door is probably the safest place. I've seen other videos where they rotate round, so they start off here on the right hand side when the boss is on the left, because it's the furthest away from all the ads. I don't really think that's necessary. I think you can pretty much do it all here and use this, you know, use either side of the door as cover. This is the only thing about using Anarchy, is that when enemies are shielded, the grenades just bounce off, even if they're arc shielded. So if you've got arc shielded enemies at a distance, it can be quite tough to use Anarchy to get the shield off again. But I know I've got lots of spare power ammo back here, and I've got a few bricks inside that arena as well, so if I pick these up, this should be enough for me to at least start off the next phase of boss damage, finish off the current wave of ads. Yeah, I decide I need the primary ammo there as well. So back to damaging the ads on the left there. That then gives me a clear line of sight to the boss in the kind of the second phase. Yeah, just get rid of this guy because he's annoying me with the grenades. I can see there's a dreg to the left, but it can't quite get the grenades over far enough. There we go, my firefly explosion takes out both the vandal and the dreg, so quite handy. Right, that's all of the ads that dropped there. So now second phase of damage on the boss. I'll clear the ads around the boss first. It will shield, the boss will shield ads here, but it's not anywhere near as good as the barrier champion, so there are usually plenty of opportunities to hit the unshielded enemies in between the phases where he makes them immune. See one more shielded guy. I think that's all the ads. Wasn't all the ads. There's a couple of dregs that I've just seen there, but that must be all the ads. So I'm now thinking about creeping forward to put a couple of anarchy and then bravely running away. I can see here I can hit it without it being able to see me, so that should take it into the third round of damage. You can see there the damage tick numbers move to the other side, so back to the bunker door here. And we can do the final round of damage from here. That was always a bit of a wing and a prayer, that one. There's so many ads out there to distract the Nova Bomb. Right, boss dead. So just a question of cleaning up the remaining ads. You probably could rush to the chest and get it, but not really worth doing that and then dying at the last second to a couple of dregs. So, because I've got loads of anarchy ammo and lots of heavy bricks on the ground, I kind of go a bit wild with my anarchy at the moment. Right, I think that's most of the red bar, so it's just that nightmare there. So there we go. Like I say, it's the tough thing about it is that it's a long one. This I think was my second run through. It's more just about keeping patient and not rushing anything. You know, if you get frustrated, that tends to be especially in the legend version of this, that tends to be where I died. And we can see top tree Voidwalker with a vortex grenade. My 7th Seraph Officer Revolver with timed payload. The Vision of Confluence. Anarchy. So any Solar Scout, you can see I'm using Sundering Blast there from the artifact, season artifact. Protective Light, Grenade Scavengers, Arc and Concussive Resist, because it's mostly arc damage coming at you. Wrath of Rasputin, and Grenade Launcher Finders, so pretty standard loadout. Just obviously on the arms, make sure you've got the correct anti-champion mods. And there we go, all done. Hope that was useful. Hope you probably can get the timing down a bit better than me. I probably could after a few runs when you get familiar with it, but that's the K1 Logistics Flawless Solo done and dusted.